Hi, so in this video today I'd like to tell you about a studio hack that we've stumbled across and we've actually turned it into a bit of a tradition, and that has actually turned into a very valuable marketing tool and also has decreased the amount of cancellations and reschedules we get because women are more comfortable at the thought of coming into the studio. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Richard. I'm a full-time boudoir photographer here in Australia. I own this studio along with my wife. Our studio turns over multiple six figures per annum, and I make these videos because I enjoy helping other photographers with the business of photography. So this all stems back to when I very first started with the studio. I wanted to have something that would help people feel welcome when they turned up to the studio, because our original studio was in an area with lots of shops and things like that. And so I wanted something for people to be aware of, that when they got there, they were aware that they were in the right spot. And so what I heard was a few suggestions about possibly having, for example, like a blackboard or something like that with a name on it. But unfortunately, I was running the studio by myself at the time and my handwriting is completely deplorable. And then someone suggested this thing here, which is basically just one of those pegboards. And what happened was I actually got this from a place called Big W. Now in Australia, that's like a discount store. I think with America equivalent would be something like Walmart. Other countries no doubt will have similar things, but that's where I got it from. And it's just a pegboard and these letters come in and out like that, okay? And when we got it, I got additional letters to go with it, which I'll show you here. And we keep them in this organizer thingy here, and we can just swap obviously the letters in and out as we go. So that's what we ended up using. And then what I found was that by having people's names on the board when they turned up to the studio, they thought it was awesome. And what they would do is they'd take photos of it and post to their Instagram and send to their friends and that type of thing. I just thought it was a cool thing because people like seeing their names, I guess. So when we moved out of the other studio, we moved into this studio here, which we built on our property. We didn't really need something like this anymore because they would get here, we're the only building here, and we would meet them in the driveway to make them feel welcome and carry their stuff into the building, everything like that. So we didn't really need it, but we kept on using it. And then what happened was, somewhere along the way, I'm not sure when it happened, but I started getting photos next to our clients next to the board. I'm not sure what prompted that, but that's what we started doing. Now, what we also have is a VIP Facebook group, which is just a private group on Facebook. It's ladies only. I'm the only guy in the group, okay? And we started posting those photos to the group, because when you've got a Facebook group, as anyone would know who's got one, you're constantly looking for ideas to post in there, you know, things to put in there every day. And it became a real tradition. Like I said, it's and what actually gave me the idea of doing this video was I was listening to one of Alex Hormozi's book, that famous business guy on YouTube. And he was talking about the value of repetition and doing the same thing over and over again. And it occurred to me, that's what we were doing. And I didn't even realize that I was doing it. And I can't take credit for this analogy. In fact, I think that Alex actually gave this analogy, and that was the analogy of the Simpsons intro for the cartoon. And that was the intro was basically exactly the same, except for those couple of things, a couple of changes through that intro. One was Bart writing on the board, and then at the end there was the couch gag. So people would actually watch the whole thing to see those two things. And so that's kind of what we were doing, was doing the same thing over and over again. And the difference obviously was the client next to the sign. They see my ugly mug every single time, but with a different lady. So I said at the beginning of this, by having this tradition, it helped us with marketing, it helped us with, reduce cancellations, and helped us with bookings, that type of thing. And let me give you the reasons why. And there's essentially, I think, three, okay? And the first thing is just pure repetition. Now, what I mean by that is that if people see the same thing over and over and over again, like I just kind of mentioned a little bit before, they understand what's going on. So like I said, I was posting them to the group, okay? And so that means that every single time we had a new client come through, there'd be a picture of me standing next to one of our new clients. And what I noticed started happening was, and what Tracy started noting happening was, they would get these comments like, gee, you've been busy lately, because they would see these things, because people would associate that particular image with us being busy. So what it ended up emphasizing was that our studio was active and busy and doing things and everything like that. So the second part of that repetition and people seeing it is that people do as people do. So even though our group is predominantly of ladies who have been booked in and come in, there's a fairly good portion of people that we just know who invited in that we think are okay. So in other words, we invited people in the group that we felt comfortable having in the group. And to be truthful, a lot of them were Tracy's friends and a lot of them old clients of mine. And so they would see those, and they would sometimes see people that they knew, and they think, oh, well, you know, if so-and-so did it, then maybe I should do it. And we got a lot of bookings as a result of that. Or they just tell their friends about it and they join the group and things like that. So as a result of seeing it over and over again, and I'm repeating myself, but honestly, people do as people do. So the third thing is the ladies we had booked in would also see those photos, because I'll explain to you how that works is so that when we make a booking, in addition to all the other information they get from us, okay, one of the emails that they get is an invitation to the VIP Facebook group, okay? And so when we get them into the group and they join, what typically happens is they will go into the group, they'll scroll back through a little bit to check out what's going on. They'll see, in our case, behind the scenes stuff, you know, but I feature a client every single week and things like that. But one thing that they will see is that constant changing of ladies who are turning up to the shoots. And because we do that photo before the makeup and before the shoot and everything like that, is they look like exactly like the ladies who are looking at these photos, meaning they see themselves in the photos, meaning that they look like everyday women just like them. And I can't tell you the amount of ladies that have told us that they found, I guess, the courage or didn't want to chicken out because they would see these ladies and then later on they would see kind of like the after photos and they go, wow, that's amazing. And it gave them sort of the courage to come in and do it. So that's been a really big thing for us. And like I said, I never set out to design this to happen. This kind of just happened organically through trial and error, essentially. And also, it's just a really nice thing to do. It's like I said, it's a bit of a tradition. When they come and we say it's a bit of a tradition. And I've actually had them say that I can't believe I'm actually standing here doing this now. I've seen so many ladies standing next to this sign and I can't believe I'm actually here and found the courage to do it. So it's a cool thing to do. So I guess what I'm alluding to is this is what we do. I'm not suggesting that this is what you should do. I mean, you do whatever you want to do, obviously. But I would strongly suggest that you have some sort of repetitious tradition that you do. Like, for example, you know, if you're a pet photographer, get a photo with the pets. You know, get your clients to take a photo with your phone or something like that. Or if you're a family photographer, do something with the kids or something like that. But just something that you can do that will create that tradition and repetition so that when people see it, they'll understand what they're looking at. And it just started raining. I hope it's not coming through the mic. So on that note, because it's raining, I'll finish there. I'll say thank you so much for watching this video. If you got anything out of it, I'd love you to subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, I'd love you to leave a comment or a like or something like that. Apparently that really helps the algorithm. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you again. Have a great day.